Ali Soufan is a former FBI supervisory special agent. He investigated many terrorism cases, including the East Africa embassy bombings, the attack on the USS Cole, and the events before and after 9/11. He is now CEO of the Soufan Group. Ali, good morning.
Good morning, Alex.
So let's talk about how this investigation is unfolding. Police say they don't have enough evidence to connect this back to ISIS, but the suspect was known. What do you make of that?
Well, first of all, it's interesting that the suspect is a Tunisian. And as you know, Tunisians represent the largest national contingency in ISIS. From all the foreign fighters, 6,000 of them come from Tunisian backgrounds. Also, if you look into Europe, there are hotbeds of extremism, especially in Belgium and France and other places around the continent. And most of these people come from North Africa. Many of them come from Tunisia. Now, what we see with this attack is something a little bit different than what we saw, for example, with the Nice attack. It's a truck. Plow and killed people. But also at the same time, this is way more complicated. So somebody actually hijacked a truck. They killed the driver, first with a knife, and then allegedly they shot him. They kept the body in the car, and then they used the truck as a weapon. That's a level of complexity that we did not see before in different
And you
places.
think that reflects greater planning?
That reflects that at least the individual who did it have some sort of training and maybe connected to a larger cell. So it's not what we've seen in San Bernardino. It's not what we've seen in Orlando. It's not even what we've seen in Nice, where an individual self-radicalized and overnight they go from the radicalization phase to the mobilization phase. That's a little bit different. Another thing that makes me wonder about this case, the fact that ISIS claimed responsibility before there is a dead body. Mostly they only claim that these guys are soldiers of the caliphate after they are dead. We've seen that in San Bernardino, we've seen that in Orlando, we've seen that in Paris, we've seen that in Belgium. In this case, almost a few hours after the attack, they claim that he is a soldier of the caliphate.
So what do you make of that, Ali?
Well, I think maybe he is connected to ISIS. Maybe he is connected to Al-Raqqa. Maybe he is connected to a cell that's doing external work and external operation, not the typical terrorist attacks we've seen where they wait for a phone call or they wait to see a post with that person pledging bay'ah or allegiance to Baghdadi and to the Islamic State.
The law enforcement sources say they found the suspect's ID on the floor of this truck.
Sure.
Why would they wait 2 days to put this name out?
Well, you don't know what's going on. Sometimes in law enforcement, you have evidence and then you try to follow leads. You try to, catch the individual without giving them a heads up that you're looking for them. I think there's different probably investigative calculations that fed into this. But the moment they released the Pakistani/Afghani, as they called him,
the
earlier suspect, it was very obvious that the police in Germany have some stronger leads that indicates that individual was innocent.
Using a truck as like a battle ram, essentially, was something that was proposed in the ISIS literature. So it's been out there. So intelligence knows that this is, and as the NYPD's John Miller said here yesterday, here at home, they're talking to these truck companies to make sure that there's a lot of cooperation going on. But in this case, it was a stolen truck. What kind of questions does that raise for you about security here at home?
Well, I think we have to realize that Europe is very different than the United States. I think after 9/11, we put a lot of structures in place that created better cooperation between state and local and between federal agencies, also between intelligence and law enforcement. So we have a lot of things here in place that can prevent something like this. But as you know, unfortunately, we have to be successful 100% of the times. They have to be successful only once. But so far, I think I trust the good work that the Joint Terrorism Task Forces around the nations are doing. Here, as you see in New York City, NYPD has been doing phenomenal work And I think we have a lot of things in place to prevent something like this. But the thing with, as you mentioned, with the trucks, this is not proposed by ISIS. Before, it actually was proposed by Al-Qaeda. The first entity to ask their followers around the world to use trucks to kill innocent people were Al-Qaeda and Inspired magazine in 2010.
Ali Soufan, always good to have you here. Thank you so much.
Great pleasure. Thank you.